Checking levels. Levels are good. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chapter 6 of Cradle of Caine, our Sabbat Vampire the Masquerade 5th Edition Chronicle. Special thanks to Rena the Overlord for allowing the show to play on our channel. And I'll have my cast introduce themselves.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Gabriel, or at Good and Chaotic. I'm in various places all around the internet, including Twitter and TikTok if you're brave enough. Friendly local trans man, pronouns are he, him. And tonight I will be bringing to you Arthur, your friendly local haunted bookshop owner, who is definitely trustworthy.
Definitely. Rena. Yeah. Oh, your mic can't hear you.
Oh, smart. I'm muted. Hi, everyone. I'm Prince, aka Doubles and Dice around the internet. My pronouns are he, him. I am playing a Mario Ringo, your flesh crafting, boat owning dragon man who loves to Samisi. And I'm about to take over a penitentiary. It's gonna happen.
And I am Lily. You can find me at Lily the GM on Twitter and Twitch and other places. And tonight I am playing Evelyn, the coteries baby and new friend maker. I'm making friends for everyone, and I'm sure they're grateful.
And I guess that leaves just me. I am your storyteller for tonight, Nick, at Nobleman Nick. And I'm very excited to tell a vampire story. Can I get sued for that? Maybe. When we last left our kindred... I'm sorry. What a horrible, distasteful word. Our Canaanites. They had sieged the penitentiary by sneaking in, gotten the coin of Carthage, and almost fell prey to the wicked influences of the ghost and spectral forces that live down below. During this commotion, the alarms must have been tripped because the penitentiary was cleared out and the guards on high alert as they walked into a war zone. Ascending the warden's tower and avoiding traps with a few quick thinking tactics, they managed to grab the warden as they were sneaking out and stake him. But before that happened, the warden was able to call for help, it seemed, as police showed up outside of the penitentiary, the guards still within the penitentiary on high alert. But all was not lost, as the final thing we heard was the sound of a truck flying towards the pen. And that's where we take off again, as you're all sitting in the kind of office door and you hear the da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na-na, as the truck's horn goes off, and you hear a big crashing and sound of explosions, followed by people shouting.
Was that us? I don't think that was us. That wasn't us, was it? No, it wasn't me.
I didn't bring it. I didn't bring it at all.
I'm gonna go and have a look out the window.
As you look out the window, it's kind of hard to see over the walls of the penitentiary, but you can see the billowing smoke and the dancing light of flames coming from just outside the wall. As you look down below, you see Thrall has taken a position behind one of the walls, trying to avoid the massive gunfire on one end, while he is tenderizing a corpse next to him. Just smashing and smashing in because he doesn't have any. They don't have anything else to do right now.
Well, your pet is busy at least.
I'm thinking that it might be time for us to maybe leave.
Seconded.
Roll. It's time to go, my pet.
And he grunts and walks into the. Well, he's not really by the tower, but he just grunts and acknowledges you. Because I feel like you just call out from the.
I'm just yelling it out.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
He grunts and it hits the caves in the skull just a little bit deeper. Just for you.
You got to get one of those. You really do.
Very efficient.
Rena,
Look
can
at you with the restraint, Addie.
Addie, do you have does anyone have, you know what, specifically Addie, just give me a wits roll, straight wits. I was gonna ask you to roll like etiquette or politics. Oh, you can add politics. You have 1 dot in it. Yeah, intelligence plus or wits plus politics. Because this is some like quick thinking stuff that's just kind of popping into your head. If you want to, of course you know.
Storyteller's never going to tell you not to.
Yeah, I'm never going to tell you not to gain hunger. Oh, 4 successes. All right. So from thinking the kind of initial thought you're having in your head is, this is like potential masquerade breach right now. Just all the chaos that's been caused. The police forces, and as you hear the sirens, that they're probably cam bot. You can just, you know that they have a lot of leeway in the police, but you're also knowing with this kind of masquerade breach, the sheriff is definitely on their way. They have to be. This is a high alert, and from what you've done in the past, you estimate you probably have about 10 minutes, if not a little bit less, before the sheriff and whatever forces they brought show up. And judging by how everyone is right now, that would most likely be a death sentence.
All right, following you, Addie. Oh, good.
Yeah. So here's like the big thing. Like the front entrance is coalesced by police, now a fire, and shouting crowds. You still have a guards within the penitentiary, and you have these like huge, tall, towering walls because you're literally in a prison. Breaking into a prison, it's kind of a weird thing, but it can be easy sometimes. Breaking out is a whole nother story.
Question.
Yeah.
This vehicle, where did it come in through? Like, did it like bust through a wall? Like,
no. So it's still it's still on the outside. So the wall hasn't been busted through. You just heard it come in, but it literally was like riding on the street and just made, you can only assume it made a sharp turn and just rammed right into the entrance.
You know what? Maybe we should check that out.
Is it like, so it's blocking off the main entrance, this lorry situation?
Well, that will not necessarily wasn't blocking up before, but you can assume from the smoke and fire that probably might be.
Also, there's fire. That's the problem I'm thinking of personally. The whole fire situation is not really my thing. I thought you were going to throw it away into your gullet, but you can do that too. I'm surprised you haven't.
Are we about to do a Diablo check?
But if you want to take him to, do you want to take him to go, or are you going to eat in? All right. Okay.
If you bring him back to my place, I have plans for something like that. He would definitely tell me all his secrets. Well, if you make him only a mouth and vocal cords, and then the rest of him can be a potato, then they'll tell all their secrets.
I see. An interesting approach. Huh.
Yes.
And he'll be rich in starch.
Delicious. A tubular kindred.
I just feel like, and like Evelyn's just sitting, like, is just listening to the potato mancy talk.
Potato mancy? Oh my god.
I have never been more relieved to be friends with these people. Not like the other side of all this.
I mean, if you've seen Thrall, you know I can do some terrible, terrible things.
Well, exactly, and all of this has all been revealed in one night for me. This is a lot of big changes about the way that I'm seeing you, Amari. I'm not saying bad. I'm just, I'm feeling glad to be on this side of the line.
Smart.
Absolutely. Now,
okay.
The walls are not a particular problem for me. However, I'm quite limited on my ability to be able to, how's it the kids put it, lift. So we may have to find alternative methods for getting you all over the walls. I'm not sure I saw anything akin to a manhole cover, but that might be something we investigate.
Like, yeah, the wall is not like super smooth stone. It's not like, it's an impressive form of architecture, but it's still man-made. If you wanted to climb it, it'd be tough. It definitely would. You would need an experienced climber.
Could I possibly use an intelligence and athletics check with my parkour specialty to see if I can find us a nice, easier route out of here?
Okay.
Quick one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, it'll probably get destroyed and captured and dissected.
3
I'm
successes.
not exactly a fan. I don't really care about Masquerade breaches, but I don't exactly want the Second Inquisition coming for my boat.
Also, you might not just want to lose your toy,
Yeah, I mean, he can be replaced, but this would be a waste. Throw him at the police. Ugh. I mean, personally, I could just jump on his back and have him jump us out of here, but that would leave all of you to your own devices. Hopefully.
Evelyn, what did you get?
3 successes.
Awesome. As you're kind of like looking through, it's kind of a tough sell, this is designed to be a prison, and you're kind of looking, you're like, all right, like a few place jumps there. You think that you in particular, and maybe even Addie, after seeing how more like athletic they are, you could possibly scale the walls with time, or even make a quick route and kind of make a jump to the top of it. You would hit some wiring. You would definitely take some damage and stuff, but you're a much more robust individual now. You're not like something that's gonna break just because of a few razor wire and whatnot. That being said, it'll be tough to get the other two out, to get Amari and Arthur out of here.
Okay. I'm kind of peering across the courtyard, thinking about all this. And okay, guys. As far as I'm aware, we have a choice. We can either be quick or we can be careful. Probably can't do both, and we either stick together or we don't. As far as I know, this is Addie and I are going to have an easier time getting out than you guys. So I guess the question is, oh dear pack leader, or whatever you want me to call you, what's your preference?
Let's be quick. I don't think we have a lot of time based on what Addie has told us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fastest way out is going to be for me and Addie to break for it and go. You said that you can probably get over the walls yourself if your pet friend can launch you, but I am not sure I see an answer for our dear Arthur.
I've got this. Don't worry. He sort of digged around in his pockets. Oh, got his somewhere. Oh, no, that's grave dirt. No, I don't know what that is. Oh, lost that earlier. No, that's silver dust. He sort of pulls out a little vial which is sort of red liquid in with something very grim and black floating inside of it. Sort of shakes it up.
Oh, well, you were doing that climbing thing, weren't you?
Yeah, indeed.
Okay. Yeah, in which case we can do this quick and we can go now, shall we? And I kind of like turn heel to head towards the doorway and run.
Onwards.
Now there is something else that Addie, you would know. If the idea is to climb out of here, it's going to be a lot tougher lugging a body around. I just think it's funny that we probably see like Addie's appear and then you see the body get yanked into the darkness.
Absolutely. It's like a horror movie.
That's straight out of a horror movie.
Absolutely.
So here's the question. You could definitely, I mean, he's immobilized. You could drink and sate yourself to 0 if you wanted to. Or you could even go further. I mean, either way, the warden will be dead. So, what is your intentions?
Do what you got to do.
Okay, and just for the folks at home, how's your health track looking? Okay, no aggravated? Yeah, and the rest of you, we'll go back to Addie in just a second, as we're gonna go to the other three's escaped attempt. All right, so Evelyn, you're I'm assuming you're leading the way. You're the one that's kind of doing the initial run, and
Yeah.
it's very interesting the way your mind works, because you've plotted out this run probably about like 5 or 6 times already, taking different like approaches, different angles to them, different steps, and you're like, okay, like if I jump from here, and I land here, I'm probably gonna break that stone. And I might fall and have a tougher time. But if I hit it at this angle, I'll be able to launch myself and get enough distance, and such and such. So the only question I honestly really have for you before you make these rolls, are you trying to show off, or are you just trying to be, are you trying to be safe, or are you trying to do it fast as possible?
Definitely not showing off. This is
Okay.
a safe and fast thing. Addie saying we need to get out quick has me spooked. Like, she's usually very chill about this kind of thing, so I'm not doing anything fancy.
And are you activating anything before?
So I have Cat's Grace, which is a
Mhm.
passive, but there's nothing to activate.
Okay, cool. Yep. So you have Cat's Grace is working in. You're not caring about. You don't want to have all or daunt or anything up like that.
Well, are people paying attention to
I
me?
mean, when you probably start to make the run, like, and leave the wardens, you'll probably be under some fire.
Okay. At which point, yes, I'd like to activate Daunt, because that would deter them from aiming for me.
Awesome. Yeah. So go ahead and make me a dexterity plus athletics, and then yeah, go ahead. And then you have your parkour specialty, right? Or no?
Yes.
Yes. Awesome.
3 successes.
Okay. So the way you're doing this, you kind of swing to the top of the warden. You climb out through the window. That's easy enough. You kind of look at the kind of extending like halls and wings of the prison, and you drop yourself down onto them, and you begin to make your run. And as you're kind of like running through, you activate Daunt, and you see the guns kind of fly towards you and try to spray, but like in mid Daunt, it almost like it just goes wild as they're unable, even though they're trying to fight through it so hard, they're not able to take a proper aim at you. And you're almost like a blur as you move across. And every foot just manages to find its footing to go in that perfect straight line in order to get you. And you're picking up speed. And you're looking and you're like, all right, this is going to be a quick 3 successive jump from this jutting rock to this jutting rock. And then finally reach to the top of the wall. A normal human wouldn't be able to do this, but you might be able to. Especially with that long extended jump. Go ahead and give me one more roll.
Dex and athletics.
Yes. And plus any specialties.
4 successes.
Awesome. You make the one. You time it perfectly, stepping off with your right foot. You launch yourself, bringing your left knee up, and then kind of stomp hard, catching the second stone with your left foot, and use the momentum to propel yourself forward. And you reach your hands up, and you're going to take 1 superfluous damage as you grab up, taking a hold of the kind of razor wire at the top. It digs into your hand. You can feel the vitae spill, but you're able to catch yourself on the ledge and make it to the top as you pull yourself up. And yeah, you look to the ground and you're like, you could make a quick drop if you wanted to.
Before I drop, I am going to look like over my shoulder and check how the other 2 are doing.
Now for the other 2. Who's going first? Arthur or
Sure.
I? Okay, Arthur.
Sure, why not? Why not? Fun. I have Cling of the Insect up, so essentially he is going to be less climbing traditionally and more just sort of skittering along the walls following Evelyn.
All right, so I'll say with that, you probably don't even need to make the roll because you're just going to naturally climb it up, which is good. So you just go ahead and give me 1 athletics plus dexterity as you're attempting to dodge gunfire.
Okay. I will rouse my blood for this one.
Awesome.
The beast is hungry.
Oh boy, what is your hunger at now?
4. A nice healthy 4.
There you go.
Ooh.
Absolutely. That is 2 successes, one of which was a 10.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah, you managed to. You're gonna get clipped a little bit. You're gonna take 1 superfluous damage as you kind of feel the bullet graze your side, but other than that, you're fine. You do a much more erratic dance with the bullets than Evelyn did, just kind of like effortlessly gliding through. And you start your skitterish climb as you just like that's like that scene out of Spider-Man where you're like, uh, Evelyn, you look down, you're just kind of like thinking, maybe the thought crosses your mind that you're like, cheater.
Polly, like, I want some of that. Like, Amari's got his full monsters. Arthur's got his little bottle of climb a wall. I want something shinier. Like, so I sort of feel like I kind of just like pout a little almost, and then look for Amari. Like, fine, make it look easy.
Now it is time for Amari. Oh, you are muted. There you go.
So Amari didn't really have a great plan for this, to be honest with you. So what he's going to do is, the last time I had made my chest into a little bit more armored because I was getting kind of shot at. He's going to basically just drop all of that, and then he's going to basically take his hands and start flesh crafting himself to have little suckers on his hands.
Oh,
So you'll see the hands start to change into little suction cups, essentially, on each of his hands. They're slowly crafting into his hands suctions. And I'm going to roll.
is it kind of
See
like
how many successes I get on this.
like mixing up Play-Doh a bit, you know?
Yes. Because he has to do it one hand at a time with each hand.
Ugh.
So
Hey, go ahead and make that roll.
that is. I'm just checking the dice that I have for this. Soft and protein. Okay. Oh shit. Hold on. More hunger dice than this. That is 2 successes.
So like just in your head, you basically like it's almost comical if it wasn't so horrifying. As I imagine, you just kind of like pinch the fingers and pull them out in order to make the suck.
Mm-hmm. And then he's like, tentatively like, please God, let this work, sort of thing. By the love of Caine, stick. Oh yeah.
So now all you have to do is make the run. Go ahead and roll me a dexterity plus athletics.
It's literally 1 die.
Oh boy.
Success.
Awesome. You're gonna take
success.
You're gonna take a bit of the damage. You're gonna take the one superficial. As your same idea, this one probably just grazes your shoulder. As not only that, Thrall is kind of covering you by beating the ever loving, like making like basically like a suicide charge at one of them and knocking his guns aside and just and you just hear them like hamburger meat.
And I just yell at Addie. I was like, Addie, if you could do me a favor and toss Thrall over the wall. If you can't, it's fine. But if you can, do that thing, please.
Thrall looks at you as you're leaving and just gives you like this kind of forlorn look of like, don't leave me.
Definitely leaving.
Well, you're just like whatever juices. Yeah, and then you're gonna kind of get to the top as well to move through the razor wire. It's you can do it kind of for both of you and Arthur. You can either take the damage to move through it as quickly as possible and get to a point where you can jump, or you can take a little bit to try to move through without taking damage.
No, I'm already fucked up. I'm gonna just go all the way.
All
out.
right.
Now just
What's your health
Wow.
track like right now, actually? Because you only have
it is. I only have 4,
yeah.
and it's 4 superficial right now.
All right, including the razor wire.
If I remember right, yeah, including the razor wire damage, I should have 4 superficial damage right now.
So now anything else, you're gonna start turning to aggravated, and then the fun is gonna happen. And what about you, Arthur?
Yeah, my next hit is going into ag.
All right. So and then Evelyn, you're doing all right. You're not as worse as they are. Oh, no.
It's gonna be a rough ride.
There we go. At least you know what aggravated damage feels like now. You've been through it before.
I'm not sure I'd say at least, but yeah.
I'm not sure that's a positive. No.
No, I think in
No.
this instance I'd rather be completely ignorant, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
So, are the 3 of you going to wait for Addie to join you on this very exposed top of these walls, or are you dropping down and being like, nah?
No, as soon as I see that the other 2 have cleared it up, or are clearing up, I'll jump down, because I'm expecting that Addie is gonna have obfuscate on to cross the court, and I won't know where she is, so I'm not gonna wait to see her.
Yeah, Amari is expecting basically the same thing. Addie will be fine.
I imagine that, Evelyn just kind of balance landing onto the bottom of the walls with Cat's Grace and everything, and then the other 2 just climb down using their natural abilities.
It is by no means graceful for Amari. Not even close. It is like, oh God.
Oh god, Arthur is just full exorcist, which is just the weirdest thing considering that he looks like he should be sort of lingering in a library in London, sort of holding a first edition of whatever novel he's got going, and instead he's just skittering headfirst down this wall like a horrible insect.
And like
Awful.
you know what the funniest thing is? You could definitely just climb down normally if you wanted to, but you're having a little bit of fun with it. Evelyn, you might even notice that like, wow, you could do something that these like more older powerful vampires can't do.
There's a tiny bit of I'm not sure if it's as far as smug, but a tiny bit of satisfaction, but also like a little bit of repulsion, because I was a minute ago thinking that I really wanted all the stuff Amari can do, but like watching him pull suckers literally out of his skin is like made me feel a little bit sick. So
Just
I think I'm
bit.
good without that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
my
stick with
fingers
just
look like
climbing.
octopus tentacles, essentially.
Ugh.
I've never wanted anyone to touch me less than right now.
Someone make fan art.
How to make your no-no square at least 10 meters in diameter. Just,
Do what you have to do. Thank you, Athens. All right, now we're gonna go back to one last thing. As you're leaving the penitentiary, because I'm just assuming you are just getting the hell out of Dodge. You can see the burning truck, and you can see on the side of it is a rudimentary like face flipping off, like graffitied onto the side of the truck, and the face has sunglasses on.
Fucking Simon. Great.
And who say Sabbat don't help each other?
Friendship looks pretty weird in the after life after not death, not what do we call it?
I wouldn't call this afterlife at all. This is a continuation. This is like the book is to be continued, but you start a whole new series sort of thing.
Spin-off. So okay, sure. But yeah, it looks pretty different. I think I've had some friends do some shady things to me before, but that is interesting.
This is like from Buffy to Angel.
Oh, okay. I can't wait for the
Yes.
puppet episode.
There is
Let's
a
just
puppet
say
episode.
the
I
mileage.
can make one of those.
Oh no,
Make
no,
one of
thank you. I
those.
can wait for the puppet episode. I've changed my position. Shall we leave?
Yes, that would be
Yes.
entirely too literal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably change my hands back.
Please.
Who has the coin?
Please.
What was that?
Who has the
The
coin?
coin.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you're not leaving it with the one person
No.
that's still in the penitentiary.
It is right here. It's in Arthur's pocket, and it is currently embedded in some grave dirt.
All right, as you leave, and you're hoping that Addie will be okay. Addie, what do you do in the kind of like reverse the clock a bit, and the couple minutes it took for them to make their escape? What are you doing? Okay, time to drain some Canaanites, and so you can't do anything. He's restrained. And you begin to drink and drink and drink. Now, the question before you say that final thirst, I need to ask you again. Are you just sating your thirst, or is this the forbidden slurp? This is the slurp. Awesome. So let's begin. So, of course, the target is immobilized already. And you begin to drink and drink and drink themselves dry, sating yourself to hunger 0. And now you're like, huh. Awesome. Go ahead and make me a strength plus resolve test, please. The difficulty is 3. All right. You begin, and then go ahead and give me one more check. Yep, strength and resolve, difficulty 3. All right, and give me one more check. Because he has a pretty good blood potency. And awesome. So you've made it. You succeeded all tests. And you begin to siphon off what you can only believe is his soul. So at this point, go ahead and give me a very interesting reason I say this. Go ahead and give me a wits plus investigation. But take it at a -2 because you're just so involved with the slurp right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You begin to notice as you're drinking the warden and kind of going with this, you're getting to the point where you see his body start to convulse and shake, and a part of you knows that there's something not right. And as you try to go ahead and give me your humanity, your base humanity plus your blood potency, please. Awesome. Let me make my roll. Just consult the sheets here just a little bit. You said you had 4 successes? Awesome. So you begin to drink and drink. And at this point, you're gonna get the 5 experience from the initial. And you want to drink more, and you're gonna lose that point of humanity, which really doesn't matter for you. You're fucking Canada. Who gives a shit? And you want to drink more, and you want to take more. But you feel something very hot. Hotter than normal vitae as it starts to coalesce around your like throat. Almost boiling. And then the warden's body begins to swell up. And in an instant, you hear a crack and a rip as his body explodes. The vitae sloshing at your face. And you're going to take 2 aggravated damage as it literally is melting into you. It's horrifying. And although you were able to, you feel the spark fade away as you separate the test of Diablerie. Mm-hmm. And you could feel the kind of, when a skin gets very, a lot of heat on it, you can feel the kind of, the boils and the scarring immediately taking effect. Your face is red and hot to touch. Oh, yeah. So your clothes are definitely doused with blood. Unless you try to like find someone to do a complete like clothes switch, it'll probably it'll be impossible to get the blood out for now without like washing it. But okay, so just this I'm guessing feral in in underwear Canaanite is just silently stalking across the courtyard. Are you attempting to take the same route that your pack took? You could go out the front entrance if you wanted to. If you could just say fuck it and run. Okay. Go ahead and give me a dexterity plus athletics, please. Awesome. So what would probably be death for anyone is not for you, as you manage to kind of slide across a few cars and duck and avoid touching a few people as you leave the premise, and you see the crowd, you see the guards, you see the police, and more importantly, coming up the stairs, you see, backed by a posse, you see Ronnie. And just for a second, you think that Ronnie actually locks eyes with you. And she raises her hand almost to point at you before pointing at the penitentiary and ordering her men inside. And that's a good question. Are you all heading back to Amari's yacht?
I'm heading to wherever Amari tells us to go at this point, to be honest. My assigned task was get out. Beyond that, I haven't thought about it.
Probably seems the safest bet.
I agree.
Awesome. So you go ahead and you make the mad dash. It's a little bit of a drive. You get your driver to pick you up, Amari, and everyone else up. Unfortunately, Thrall did not make it.
I need to get home so I can eat. Honestly, this is a very selfish decision as far as Amari is concerned. The safety of the crew is secondary to the fact that he can eat and mend.
And you driving off, and your driver just only gives you the dialogue of "rough night, sir."
Yep. But we came for, so. And maybe a little bit more. I think I'm gonna buy that place.
As you're like driving away, you see like you probably like hit the button on the top of top of this like limo, and you see the news start playing on it as you see like out of control truck rams into the walls of penitentiary, starts fire, people in chaos, Halloween night ruined.
Yeah, as I push the button with my tentacle finger.
And the question does and it's like we cut and we see like Addie, who's just like running back to the like basically just walking back to the yacht, running back to the yacht. And yeah, and I think is there any conversations that happen in the car ride over, or is it just silent like contemplation on what just happened?
I mean, Amari would be talking. It's like, yep, we made it. So who's hungry?
Absolutely.
Starving, actually.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry about the hands thing. It was, I know, a little creepy, but you got to do what you got to do in these situations. You understand?
Yeah, I mean, we do what we have to survive. That makes sense. But if you touch me with those things ever, I'm going to freak out. Just let's put that on the table. Please don't.
I mean, it's impressive. It's something that mortal science can't even comprehend of. This is what you're seeing here. This is beyond the ken completely. Is that not impressive to you?
Oh, it's incredibly fascinating. But you know the kind of interesting fascinating that you like to be behind like 6 inches of glass. It's that kind of fascinating. Very interesting. Don't. No, thank you.
It's like your first time in a swingers club and you see the older people getting it on, and like you're like, oh, this is great watching it on TV or whatever, but when it's real close to you, it's a lot to take in.
You hear gagging come from the front of the driver's seat of the limo.
Yes, a lot is definitely the descriptor. Yeah.
You should go sometime. It's very freeing.
Just don't go to any of the gentlemen's clubs in London unless you're looking for that kind of show, is all I'm saying. It's...
So you mean do go?
I mean, if you wish. I'm not judging. But there's a certain...
my pets.
I can put you to some fun ones.
That's horrifying.
You people are
just tell you to just drive. You just drive. Your opinions are great. But, if you want to keep your hands intact,
As you wish, sir.
See, this is what you have to do. You have to get very pliable mortals.
Oh, I thought you were going to say pliable hands.
No, but those are always useful too. But you should get yourself a ghoul.
How do you what? You order one or?
Well, depends.
I never thought about that. You probably could. Yeah.
You probably could. I mean, there are certainly numbers you could call to get people to come around your house.
Like a Craigslist ad.
But I'm not sure they would be expecting what we're saying for you to do precisely. No, dear. Have you? I don't think you've been to my shop yet, have you?
I don't think so.
Well, I have an associate by the name of Quinn. He's very useful to me, but he is what we are referring to as a ghoul. He is human still, but he's very, very attached to me, thanks to the Vitae. They're very handy.
I mean, Bro was technically human. Still.
That's a disturbing thought. I mean, so I have a neighbor that I think is kind of like fond of me, I'm a young woman living on my own and they worry about me kind of thing because they pop in every now and then, they bring me lasagna. It's really endearing. But like you're talking about a level to which they just do whatever you say.
Pretty much. After a time, at first, when you first give them a little taste of your lovely Vitae, they start to follow your orders. But by the time you've done this 3 or 4 times, they're like, go all in. They will jump off a cliff for you if you ask them.
Huh.
Yes, although it should be noted that if you have them on the hook, you have to keep them on the hook because your Vitae is it's very tasty and quite addictive to one imbibing it. Without it, they will deteriorate quite quickly. But with it, they're immortal just like you.
So find someone disposable and useful, feed them your blood, rinse and repeat, friends forever.
Yeah, you got the gist of it.
Huh. Yeah, that does sound pretty neat when you put it like that. But just so we're clear, I'd like it if my ghouls could keep their hands.
Listen, your ghouls are your ghouls, my ghouls are mine.
That's up to you. If you decide you no longer wish for them to have hands in the future, that is a thing that you can address.
But yeah, that is definitely a thing I could fix for them if you need it.
Okay. I'll think about it. If I come up with a useful candidate or a use for them, then that could be worthwhile, I guess. I've usually been a bit of a loner, but I guess that's been changing already, so why not find someone to depend on me, right?
Well,
I mean, who needs a bulletproof vest when you can have a bulletproof chest?
Precisely. And, well, not to put too fine a point on it, dear, but you've already had a problem wherein you were living by yourself and you were snatched in the middle of the night by a maniac. So perhaps having someone to watch the door during the hours...
I do have people to watch the door. That's the worst thing. I have a couple of neighbors that I made friends with, but I guess this is like a step-up thing. But I have a couple of neighbors that are supposed to watch the door for me. They're supposed to tell me if there's something coming in. Fucker climbed up the wall and came through the window. They weren't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. So I didn't know that was a thing until I saw you do your thing.
Of course. But point stands that those neighbors that you're currently relying on are in fact mortal, and therefore their use is limited. If you've got someone who is specifically there simply to guard you, and they have a little bit extra going on for them thanks to your Vitae, ghouls get a little bit of our perks when you give them the blood. It might provide somewhat of a better security system than just the lasagna neighbor.
Yeah. When you put it like that, lasagna neighbor isn't a great watchman.
No.
I'll think about it.
Good.
So we kind of fast forward for a bit as you pull up to the yacht, ready to make a well-deserved debrief and decompression. So, Amari, where have you led the group? Into one of the private rooms, or?
Oh yeah. And I'm like Mikasa Sukasa essentially. I bring out my herd to them. Y'all can have a pick of any of my blood dolls. Do what you will.
And I feel
If you kill them, you do have to replace them, though. That's my only rule.
Understood.
feel like as you're all sitting on because I remember you describing it's like one of those dark rooms like with the red lights and then like you have like the couches lining the walls. I just feel like you're all sitting down and then you see materializing you see Addie, who Addie came straight here, right? From the penitentiary. Alright, so you just see this covered in blood, half naked Canaanite just sitting there.
I'm just like,
yeah, half face like burned.
Hi, Addie.
One of
all
those
of the
parties.
times you've been here and all of the times you've harassed me, I always end up knowing that you'd be here just like this one day. Are you hungry, Addie? Do you need something to eat? Or was your meal not that filling? That's what she said.
I'm sorry, your meal Oh dear.
No.
Oh, Addie. It's a little funny. It's a little funny. But no. That it can happen. It can happen. That's just him dabbling in thaumaturgy. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
And you did know that there was a Tremere that you never saw that was apparently at the penitentiary.
Yes, terrible shame we never found them.
I think it's lucky that we didn't run into any particularly rough rooms. You know, any of that stopping magic could have been real bad.
Not wrong. Oh well, maybe they've just been, sitting on their laurels in that place. It seems like they thought it was completely secure until we came along, so that's fun.
Oh yeah, it's gonna take some time. Yeah, go ahead and if you want to make any mending checks right now, now would be the time to do it. Unless you want to feed first.
Well, I'm kind of doing both. I'm like, here's someone, come here, bite, stay of hunger,
Yeah, Arthur's also not being subtle about this. Like he's in
no need
Amari's house. Yeah.
All right. Well, I only got on my mending checks. Only one that was not a success. So that was pretty good.
Awesome.
Aggravated.
Mm-hmm.
And remind me, how many of your superficial can you attempt to mend in a scene?
You can do all of it in a scene.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's aggravated. That's the one that you have to worry about. And what? For blood potency 1, it is 1 per check, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was right. I only need to roll 2 dice. Cool. Some sacrifices must be made. Also, I fix my hands back. I rolled a house check for that too. Oh,
Take a look.
You missed it. No, my hands are normal now. But earlier I had essentially octopus fingers.
It was horrifying.
There's definitely probably somewhere in there out in that, but I'm not. That was gross.
Oh, you have no idea. I can go so much further. Nonetheless, we got the coin.
You did?
Not wrong.
Yeah.
I would say outside of losing Thrall, this was a very successful mission.
You hear a knock
Pathetic.
at the door as one of your guards walk in. Sir, you have a visitor to see you. A Father Perez.
Yes, please let him in.
And you see Javier walk in, and he's got the still got the skull, sugar skull makeup on, wearing his clothing and whatnot, looking slightly inebriated. Saw the news. Looks like you four had quite a bit of a party.
Oh, it was a time.
Well, you were doing that. I was enjoying some of the local brewery on this beautiful night.
We should have invited you, really.
Oh, no. I would never go into that hellish place.
Did you see the van, Father?
The van, I heard a truck exploded. That's what you're talking about?
Yes. It was Simon.
Oh. How sweet. He sent you a gift.
Yes, at least he didn't take anything from us this time.
I guess
Seems
you
that we
made
may be attracting allies.
You made quite the impression, I assume.
I would give that to Evelyn.
I'm good at making friends.
You did a great deed indeed when you made the Walk of Fire. Simon's a psychopath. But he's a fair psychopath? I don't know if fair would be the word. You've won his respect, it seems, and, well, I guess that's all that matters.
Yes, I guess it is. At least in these days.
Did you get the coin?
We did.
So that concludes the quest for Dimitri as well.
Indeed.
And Viper said she would come to the meeting. So all that leaves is Angelica. Well,
Yeah.
you've done very well. And, oh my god, Adressia, are you the face?
She said some man called the warden exploded on her.
Is the warden dead? Well, the penitentiary might not have fallen to the Sabbat tonight, but that's a hell of an impression for sure. I'm sure with Simon's antics, they'll believe it's Night Division, but they have to know the Sabbat are mobilizing even in other fields now.
Yes. Well, I'm sure we've alerted the Camarilla.
Yeah.
Addie, you've enjoyed the Camarilla company more recent than any of us. Did you see anyone that might have been familiar?
Your the predecessor slash successor, wasn't it?
Oh, my sweet red-headed sweetheart.
She
Calgon,
was
take
at
me
the
away.
she was at the bar, right? We s- mm. Did she see you, Addie? Okay, that could be useful.
Are you sure?
Nice.
I get the vibe that she's smarter than that.
I was going to ask why you are in less than the other. I didn't want to presume. I thought maybe this was just what happens on Amari's boat and all, but
You don't have to do it for me.
well, as a man of the cloth, I feel this is slightly above my my oath. here.
Guard, can we get a dress to us some clothing, please?
And they nod and they bring what they have available. Probably like a dress, like party clothing.
Yeah, it's essentially a cocktail dress and heels. We can't have you walking around naked. Yeah, that's unacceptable.
I mean, it is Halloween. Some people basically do that. Have you seen some of the costumes these days? Huh. Back.
I mean,
What?
I do have some full furry outfits here. I mean, there's no judgment.
I remember back in Venice, our costumes were multi-layered and so superfluous, and the dresses and gowns were flowing, and our masks were as big as our arm span. I'll have
Although
a
I think you'd make a great raccoon. I even have a nice tail that you can use.
Oh no.
Also, can we just circle back to the fact that the good man of the cloth here just said back in my day, like that's still a valid comment to make.
Well,
I mean, he's
I'm-
a little older than most of us.
I've been doing this
All
a
right,
while.
let's not do the who's the baby in the room thing. We know it's me. This is my day, and yes, our costumes are a little scant, but they're fun.
They are. Yeah.
You'll get no argument from me.
And I will say, if I could, I would trade all the medieval literature in the world if I could understand how to work my BlackBerry.
Blackberry.
Yes, they said it's
Jesus
the premier
Christ.
technology for business people.
All right,
Nobody's used a BlackBerry in about, what, 15 years? I think I was a...
Father,
Come
Oh,
on.
boy.
please.
Really?
What?
Don't tell. No, he doesn't. Don't worry about it.
I mean,
Di-
that's why I buy Blackberries and what are those Nokias?
We gotta
Really?
take you back further, maybe go Star Trek or something like that.
Well, I'll say such as this.
Get you a pager. That's the move.
Ooh, a beeper. I heard those are the newest in technology. Yes, amazing. Wait, I didn't come in here to get, what does the kids say these days? Roasted on my phone tastes.
No, we're roasting you. That's exactly what's happening. You didn't come in here to do it, but that's certainly what's going on.
And it's even more funny because you all look young. Like you're all like, despite your age, you look young, and even Father Perez doesn't look that old. Probably his 30s. Nonetheless, I came to check in on the pact, and make sure you are all doing well, and you have survived far better than I could ever expected. I guess I'll have to tell the other recruits that there is no open spots. That is fine.
Wait, you
Does
were
anybody else get uncomfortable when he
attempting
says
to
stuff
add
like that? Like,
more?
we're disposable? You didn't
No,
think
no,
we'd-
no. I just it's the lives we lead, Evelyn, is very volatile.
I wouldn't say we're exactly disposable, Evelyn, but as the father said, we do dangerous things and accidents happen.
Sometimes we do have some very high turnover rates, but only sometimes.
Okay. Well, I like this job. I think I'd like to stay, just so that's out there. I don't know if you guys
Oh.
do annual reviews or whatever, but I'm happy where I am.
That's great. And think it only took us kidnapping you and turning you and leaving you in a grave.
That is a theme. You guys do that a lot, huh? Like, you're the second group of people to try and kidnap me now. Or kidnap me. Anyway, we got the coin. The dude is happy because the coin, and he said that he'd get us a meeting with Angelica, right? So that's the last person we need to speak to, which is good news. However, second thing, that I don't think we've really had a chance to talk about yet, that might be worth talking about. How do we stop them all from killing each other when they're in the same room?
Oh, that's part of the fun.
You don't.
Oh, party. Okay, so we invite them and we hide. We wait to see who survives. We let them duke it out. Like, what's actually the plan here? Because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, the assignment was unite them all, right? And I don't see them uniting. Simon seemed pretty anti Dimitri, at least.
Well, give or take, you have several hundred years of bad blood.
But was that like always the plan? Are you expecting them to duke it out?
No, I mean, they'll talk. You've gotten them to agree to talk. Honestly, that's far more than I ever thought you ever could, to be honest.
If most of them survive, I'd call that a success.
Honestly, the fact that I mentioned unite the Sabbat, that was more of a guideline and a metaphor, a figurative unification than actually getting everyone to the table. But bravo on your part of that. I mean, I expect you four will be at the meeting, right?
Well, I mean, for the record, Simon never agreed to any meetings or to talk. He just said he wanted to know where I was going to be. So if I tell him I'm going to be there and I'm going to need him, I guess he'll show up. I don't know.
He'll come.
Oh, that's the tone of voice you use when you talk about tentacle fingers. That worries me, is what I'm saying. But okay,
No.
sure. You'll make it
I
happen.
mean, he likes you, and that's good enough.
Each of these...
Likes, obsessed, whatever, but...
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a healthy relationship, but I guess if it means to an end, is that what we're going for?
If you want to call it a relationship, go right
no,
ahead.
no, I really don't. Okay.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you did also impress Viper.
She asked me back to partake in her cult thing, learn about Caine or something. Is that a thing I should do?
I would be careful of it. Learning is fine, but Viper is... Don't fall prey to... Viper has an agenda, like anyone else. I'll just say that. If Dimitri is the most loyal and steadfast, Simon the most chaotic, and Angelica the most backed up in traditions and bylaws, then... Well, Viper is definitely the most conniving. Viper knows that one of the strongest tools a Canaanite can have, I'm sorry, is one's voice and social standing.
She might be onto something.
So, will you just merely be observing the meeting, or do you plan to try to put your own ideas into play?
Addie? You know the Camarilla. What do you think would be the easiest way to destroy them? How do we get close to them?
The architect is, well, I'm sure Adressia can tell you an enigma. Ever since...
Addie, the Cam like their hierarchies, right? Okay. You tried to eat the warden tonight and he exploded in your face. Besides the fact that that's funny, it's a clear sign of a diablerie, right? Okay. So the cow are probably going to go into the pen and try and find out what happened. They're going to find that mess. They're probably going to look at cameras or whatever and find out. Okay, so, Amari, who does Ronnie think you are? We spoke to her in the bar.
Ronnie knows who I am. She doesn't know that I am active with the Sabbat anymore, any more than she's active with the Sabbat anymore.
Okay.
But she'll be keeping an eye on me, I'm sure.
Okay, because Addie, she asked us if we knew where you were. If she didn't see you at the pen tonight, but she's seen a diablerie has happened to the warden, and my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but the pen's supposed to be a big deal for those cammy fucks. So if we've gone in there and trashed the place, they're going to want to at least make an example of the people who did it, right?
We've taught you so well. I'm
Cammy
so proud.
fucks, I love the term.
But if we've left behind this bloodied corpse and Addie has left behind her clothes, Ronnie's gonna know Addie's active again, and Ronnie already asked us for information. What if we could funnel Ronnie into a specific place and take out their sheriff too?
I like that. I like that a lot.
It sends a message, right? We're slowly climbing the ladder and we're going to find the prince.
Well, there's also something to be said about the prints themselves being less of the objective than the power structure itself. If one takes out the head of a power structure, that simply creates a power vacuum, and we will have a Camarilla probably very quickly taken over by someone who might be a little bit more of a pain in our ass. So actually, I think...
They'd be more...
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, the only really difference between the Camarilla and the Sabbat is that we're much more upfront about our backstabbing. But taking out their prince, they'd be, well, as disenfranchised as the Anarchs.
I think there is certainly benefit to figuring out how we're going to go about this, though. Specifically, which high-value targets we're going after first. I'm guessing it won't just be Sheriff to Prince.
Well, no, my thinking actually is more that we won't have to do anything. The sheriff's going to come looking for us. We just need to know what to do when she finds us.
Ah, my sweet Ronnie. I do miss the dalliances and the operations. She was such a good member.
Is the alternative we pull her back onto our side and have an agent on the inside? I don't know what her loyalties are like. You guys know her better than me.
Well, if there's anyone that knows her better than anyone else in this room, it would be Adrestia.
Oh, yeah?
Ronnie was the previous sheriff before Adrestia took the mantle, and now that Adrestia is left, Ronnie's forced to take the mantle back. In fact, she was enjoying probably a great retirement.
Well, then let's use you as bait. I mean, she won't be able to resist the challenge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's also given you this out of run away to Chicago, was it, with her? You could always feign like you're taking her up on the offer.
But Adrestia has already said no, correct?
Can change your mind.
I don't know. Adrestia, are you a person that changes their mind?
Then we need to leave a few more calling cards. Let's do that. You know, I've always had a good taste for people who have money. What about Cynthia? They say you draw more flies with honey than vinegar. I can always throw a deal out there. Maybe say offer some time on the river these days, since I've been effectively monopolizing it. People love coming to my boat.
Hmm.
If anyone won, it was us.
Well, let's throw out a few feelers. You've already put down your calling card, as you will. I will send Cynthia a little bit of a message, inviting her to a tete-a-tete, if you will.
Why me? Just out of interest?
Well, she clearly can't talk to people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And I'd like put my arm back around Addie in return. I can come with you.
We are actually in Cynthia's territory now, technically.
Technically.
I mean, the domains of the Delaware River.
Author?
I perhaps have an answer. Probably not without significant amounts of time. Unless we find whoever made that possible. For instance, one of their court wizards. Because, well, what is life if not for learning?
Almost like we're drawing map lines now.
I want to find whatever Tremere was working on the pen, because whatever they have, I want.
I like this. I like this a lot. There's no way Cynthia's going to come on my boat, though.
And if you do strike a deal with the Cam or any Cam associates, whatever guys you would have had of a dying force, they'll know the Sabbat's back in action.
Oh, if you mean deal, that means that she'll never leave whenever she comes to. Then yes, I plan to make a deal. Apparently we need to draw out the sheriff and the prince, so let's make a meal of it.
Dinner and a show?
Exactly.
Interesting plans indeed. Maybe something to raise during the meeting. And something that's been on my mind, though. What of the Anarchs?
You mean there's more?
My dear, there was always more.
Oh, God. Okay, well, who are they? Do we need to worry about them?
I don't know, honestly. They are unorganized mess.
Any particular, like, hatreds of us, the Cam? Like, what are we dealing with here broadly?
Well,
Oh,
they hate us because we violate the Masquerade and we are more free than they are.
The Anarchs are very much of the current millennial outlook on this world. But they praise their freedoms and their, specifically in Philadelphia, the Commons, as it's called, the Anarch Commons, which is essentially a bunch of free states. And other places like Chicago, you would have, in LA and New York, you would have baronies and stuff like that, which honestly, what is a barony if not just several small princes?
Indeed.
And Sabbat lords. But in Philadelphia, there's only one Baron Lord. But more of a figurehead than anything. They're trying the free state, more communist compound approach. I guess would be the statement. But well, you try to make everyone run on a sole system with no authority to direct people. It gets quite chaotic. It's the reason we're as chaotic as we are.
Hang on a second. It's an interesting point that you raised bringing up the Anarchs, because whilst the Anarchs are, as you say, disorganized for the most part, they are scattered, more like independents than they are a unit of themselves. They do, however, have an agreement with the Camarilla at the moment. Their emissary has leverage on that faction. So if we get rid of their leverage, the Camarilla goes right back to fucking with the Anarchs. And the Anarchs become their problem again. Not to mention, if we can get a hold of the emissary, we can probably get a hold of whatever information she has before taking her out of the picture.
It also would be quite useful because, as history has dictated, if we focus all our eyes on the Camarilla, the Anarchs will sneak right up our ass.
So we get rid of their leverage, we get rid of their guy on the inside. We make sure that the Camarilla and Anarchs are as mistrustful as each other as they are of us. Divided they fall.
But that does mean we need to keep our darling Addie hidden for a wee bit longer. If Ronnie comes gunning for us too soon and we take her out too quickly, we're going to draw attention from all sides, right? Am I understanding you?
Mm-hmm.
This is smart. You know, in the last incursion where we fell apart, it was because we didn't split them apart. The Anarchs caught us by surprise.
Persistent little fuckers, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
And they get real angry. And those Bruja, when they get angry, they are difficult.
That being said, if all else fails, I will just simply flee to Jersey like I did last time.
Yeah, because everything's legal in Jersey.
I would not recommend the shop at the moment, unfortunately. I have someone sniffing around who I have to deal with.
Which means it looks like we're all bunking together on the boat, huh?
Oh, it's wonderful and comfortable here. I have plenty of places for you to sleep or do whatever it is that you'd like to do.
Sleep.
Okay.
Well then, you seem to
Maybe.
have a good grasp on things here.
After the meeting, I suspect we can decide who can help us do what. But I think we have a good play by, manipulating the Anarchs and the Camarilla and maybe taking a bite out of some of their members, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how exciting.
I haven't seen such interesting plans and machinations till the Archbishop themselves was here. Brings a tear to my undead eye.
I have a few
You're
things
getting
that could bring a tear to your eye here, Father.
Well, I'll leave you 4B. Enjoy the rest of your night. I will return to the waterworks. And when you do get Angelica, then the real fun can begin. And you see Javier exit for a second. You hear the familiar whooshing noise. And he's gone.
Should have asked him for his BlackBerry. Lasamba's still trying to use a communication device. He's been around for too long for this.
Specifically a BlackBerry as well. I feel like that specific detail was pièce de résistance.
Can only do what we can do, I suppose.
Yeah, yes, and can't help everyone.
But you can get them out of the way eventually.
So, what is the plan for the rest of the night? Are you...
I'll let y'all go.
What time is it right now?
Ooh, it's been a very long night. It's about... Because you went to the penitentiary around like 10 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
That whole scene, took a while, but you weren't there for very long. It was pretty chaotic, only about like an hour. So after like getting cleaned up and everything, it's probably getting close to like 1 a.m. The night's still going pretty strong for at least another hour or so.
Okay. Arthur will probably depart back to the shop, and he will shoot a text to Miles that just says, "How goes the hunt? I expect reports on my desk as soon as possible."
Oh boy. Good old Fletcher.
Indeed. And then he will be heading back to the shop and inquiring if their buyer has been by at all.
All right. Adjust, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. Awesome. So, just going on to it, you do have Max in the War of the River Queens for Ruby, so... Yep, you do have a major contact. You have a boon from Ruby as well, like a major boon, so... You can definitely have that into... Yeah. And then, Evelyn.
I don't think Evelyn really has much to do, apart from, like, ponder what kind of ghoul she'd want. So I think her plan for the evening is literally she's going to go back to the sort of little room that she's been borrowing while her apartment hasn't felt safe and get changed and mingle. Like, her whole plan is just mingle, people watch, and figure out if there's anyone that she thinks might be worth getting on board. Which looks an awful lot like just partying for the night, but it's work honest, she tells them.
So you're specifically partying on the yacht, right? And talking to people.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to make
having
sure.
a little mingle.
Yep. With the idea of maybe seeing who could be a good ghoul, a good resource here and there.
Yeah, like a little bit ear to the ground for some gossip kind of thing, you know?
Okay, awesome.
You never know who's going to be useful and what you might overhear.
Yeah. Okay, we'll resolve that. Oh, I'm sorry. Amari, what is Amari doing for the rest of the night?
Amari is making a new sloshta. I need a new ghoul. And so I am in my surgery room doing work. I have recruited a nice young lady who will be useful.
I imagine you have like the classical music going as you kind of, because this is really like, some people might see this as surgery and like medical procedures, but this is art.
It is art.
Highest form.
It is like I would imagine it's like the scene with Joker in the original Batman movie where they're running through the museum and he's listening to Prince. Kind of like that.
Amazing. Yeah. So we'll start with Arthur then. Arthur,
Okay.
so you're heading back to the shop?
Yes,
Okay.
we have a few matters to discuss, me and Quinn.
Awesome. I'm sorry, I'm just pulling up my basics really quick. All right. You get back to where Quinn is, back to the shop, and you notice that the packing has gone well, and he's taking a little break. He has some tea. The shotgun's still beside him at the counter.
Good man.
Sir, you've returned.
Yes, Quinn, I have indeed. How's your evening been?
Relatively quiet. How was your night out?
Eventful. Very eventful. I didn't expect it to involve as... Actually, no, I did. It involved precisely as much Latin and screaming as I thought it would. Yes.
Of course, of course. You you acquired the coin, I assume? That little artifact?
I did indeed. Whilst it may be fundamentally useless, it is in fact quite interesting, and, well, until they come and claim it, it will be safely on my person. I figure that's the safest place for it, isn't it? Now, Quinn, have we had any more reoccurrences of our interested buyer? What was his name again?
Let me go to my notes really quick, as I did not have my Evernote pulled up because I am a bad storyteller, apparently. 1 second. And you're talking specifically about the suited man of seemingly innocuous intent.
Yes, the one who smelled funny.
Oh, yes, very that. You're thinking of Leonard Thompson.
Leonard. I wanted to call him Lawrence, but Leonard works. Okay. Maybe I can make him think his name is Lawrence, whatever. Anyway. Leonard, yes. Have we seen any more of Leonard?
Not since he came by earlier this night.
Okay, good. Well, that's something at least. Now, Quinn, I do need to ask you to set up that meeting with your employer. Put out feelers, let her know I would like a chat.
So, funny enough that you should ask, the lady herself, well, maybe not her directly, but one of her envoys, as I should say, has sent a message.
Oh, lucky me.
Through the web, as it were. She says she is available for a chat tonight. Which is the obviously day for her over there. But I wonder, what do you plan to get from the lady?
Well, you see, it's come to my attention that whilst we know a fair few of the key players here in this city, a fair few of them have been annoyingly mum with information, and I would quite like to figure out who exactly is being ever so quiet and why they must skitter around so much in the shadows. You know, specifically, fellow wielders of the craft. I think after all I've done for your employer, she can wrangle that information for me.
Well, I would agree with you. I dare say do not bring that particular thing up to her. She does not like to believe, as far as you know, that she is indebted to anyone, as it were.
And yet here we are. Funny, isn't it?
Extremely so.
Strange nights we live in. Yes, well, that works for me. She's already had her people call my people, so that bit's done. Put it in the calendar. Okay. Miles is doing his thing. That'll be good. And, yes, well, I think we're pretty much done for the evening. I am going to go and do some of my own work, because apparently things have been too on fire for me to actually do that recently.
Did you not want to have the chat with the lady tonight?
Is that now?
Yeah, you could have the chat anytime with the...
Oh, good. Well, by all means, put her on line 4 or something.
Yeah, because you did set it up like 2 sessions ago, so...
I did. It's all wheels within wheels, my dear Quinn.
So, you go ahead, as per your second dot in the lore sheet. You set up in the private room, your private office. Quinn makes sure to bar the door and not allow anyone through, as well as giving you your complete silence
Yeah, we close shop for this. The bookshop is not open to the public during this time.
You're sitting next to one of those like old timey like style phones. Specifically, you probably have this phone just for this landline just for this moment.
Yeah.
And it begins to ring. Ring, ring. Well, do you pick it up?
Yes.
Okay. Or are you just like, no?
No, I'll leave her on red. No, I do pick up.
Sorry. Trying not to just copy the only voice of Fiorenza, I know. Arthur.
Ah, Madame Fiorenza, how are you?
I am speaking to Mr. Harris, am I not?
You are indeed.
Excellent. Now, I'm sure you can understand that I am a very, very busy woman. So, what is so impertinent, so important, that you've shot to the top of my queue?
Well, Fiorenza, as you know, I have significant dealings with making sure that the right things fall into the right hands. This includes people, vitae, significant items like the ones I retrieved for you, yourself, all those years ago. And now, I have found myself in Philadelphia. However, some of these people are proving a tad elusive, and I would hope that you could elucidate.
Yes. Def's headquarters, as it's called.
Quite. A trifle gauche, but we let them have their nomenclature.
So you have set up shop in such a place.
I have indeed. I found it refreshing.
I have heard rumors which I trust to be fact. But I've heard that you are in the employment of the Canaanites. The sword
I'm
of
employed
Cain.
by myself. I'm employed by mine own self, Fiorenza. I think you can attest that I am a sole trader from your previous dealings with me.
Yes. But I worry about where your allegiance may lie, and dare say I do not care what one does with one's life. I'm sure you understand the highly volatile nature of the sword and the black
Better than
hand
most.
that grasps it.
I do. However, like any group of kindred, they have their own very specific melting pot of ingredients that, when applied correctly, can make the most intriguing formulas. And I believe that this specific group of Cainites is going to result in something quite noxious. And frankly, I don't think the Tower are in the right position at the moment to be able to handle that.
Perhaps not in Philadelphia. Methinks they should take note of their brethren in Chicago.
Yes, I've heard they've been doing quite well. Now, Fiorenza, I do not wish to take up any more of your precious time than I must, so I shall cut straight to the chase.
Direct.
As usual, is there anything you could tell me about the Tremere of the Camarilla in Philadelphia? I only know of one, and only in passing.
The Chantry does not have an established foothold in Philadelphia like it does in other places. The Tremere of that particular clan that allied with Camarilla are more of leftovers. Indeed, Philadelphia is not one's first choice of assignment, I'm sure you will understand. But the position itself and the city makes it highly volatile. Therefore, any Tremere existing within Death's headquarters are surely not to be taken lightly. As if you were speaking of their identity? Well, there is but one that I know of. A Madame Toldeska.
Mm-hmm.
An expert in her own right in the magic of blood. One could say she could be a primogen outright if she merely applied herself.
So they do not have a primogen of the clan of the blood currently?
Oh, they do. That would be... Just looking up the name really quick. A Rohan Childs. And I believe they employ a few other of neophytes and Dacilla under them. But not too many.
Interesting.
It is no... Well, it's no folly, and it is a well-known secret that the prince of your city, the architect, as he has so been imposed a title on, keeps the Tremere close. For, as anyone could tell you, blood sorcery is a useful and volatile thing. And the only way to command Death's headquarters is not with simple political ploys and games, but with raw power.
Quite right. Well, from what I saw at the pen, they've certainly been employing some interesting tactics.
You are stepping into a storm, Mr. Harris.
Yes, it's not been this way since... Gosh. Well, for a while. Not even during the agreement between the United States and the UK that brought me here.
They will not allow the Sabbat to rise again. Olga Iscariot was too much of an icon of a terror in their own right. Mr. Harris, you are a kite dancing in a hurricane.
You're not wrong, my lady. You're not wrong. However, this particular hurricane is full of some really, really interesting debris. So, I shall simply keep a weather eye on the horizon and strive through it as best I can.
If you do manage to make it to the other side, I will be very, very interested in hearing that story.
You shall be the first to hear it, my lady.
Charmed, Arthur.
As always.
Goodbye. You will
Have a
not
good evening.
hear from me for some time.
Good evening.
Boo! And then the line cuts dead.
Quinn, we're done. You can open up again.
Yes, sir. And then you hear a, do we have to? I was really enjoying the silence.
Don't say I don't do anything for you. Fine, take the night off.
Ah, excellent. And as you kind of end that phone call and morning soon approaches, the night is over for you tonight, but tomorrow brings so much more new interesting developments. And we switch to Evelyn and Amari. As we both side by side see them, like almost like in a cut shot. We see Amari is working on his newest work of art, and Evelyn is just mingling, having fun for the first time in a couple days, really. Dare I say, would this be the first time you've had fun since you've turned?
I wouldn't say the first time I've had fun. There's definitely been some fun, like climbing up buildings under gunfire, great fun. But like the first time I've been able to relax, maybe, like this is the first time I've been able to chill out and just enjoy being better than all these people without having to prove it. That's fun.
Go ahead and give me charisma plus we'll say persuasion, just like a general, like having fun talking to people roll.
Okay. Can I activate my awe for that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Charisma, persuasion, or charisma, persuasion. Five successes.
Awesome. You are the belle at the ball as you are just having fun. People instantly take a notice of you. You have men and women attempting to buy you drinks and dance around. And through it, you begin to hear whispers of just the going on. Like, hey, have you heard of that new drug that's like, it kind of tastes like blood or something. It's supposed to be great. It's supposed to get you real fucked up. And another one you kind of hear is about, oh, did you hear about the new club that opened up over in the city, an old city? Yeah, it's something called like, it's super exclusive and it's kind of got this weird like occult feel. It's Club Lilith, right? Yeah. And it's like, hey, do you got any blood plus on you? And I was like, oh no. And oh, did you hear about what happened at the penitentiary? Some like fire call. Like, yeah, man, that must have been a huge rager. And a few things about some arsons as well throughout the city. Maybe it's tied to that. Is there any of those topics? You can only pick one if you wanted to. That you wanted to maybe get more out of people.
I think there's a little part of me that instinctively wants to know more about the club because I want to just needle Amari about it. But I kind of recognize that it's not the most pressing issue out of the things I'm overhearing. It'd be funny. I'd like to be able to be like, there's a real exclusive place elsewhere and people are going there just to like, watch them get mad a little bit.
Yeah.
That'd be real funny. But that's just real funny. It doesn't really strike me as important per se right now. But the drug thing is interesting.
Yeah.
Partly for me, there's always, I'm thinking about trying to acquire a ghoul, right? And if I'm gonna if I'm going to be manipulating somebody, I need to know what's out there, what they're being affected by. And the others described that ghouling thing as a little bit like an addiction. So right now, my train of thought is who better to get hooked on me than somebody who's already potentially likely to get addicted to literally anything. So listening in on those drug conversations is probably a good idea.
Awesome. Yeah, you hear about this new drug. They call it Blood Plus. It's kind of like, they're like, yeah, it feels like, like cocaine and meth all in one, and it's like wild, and you take it, and the expletives that you hear are like, yeah, you take it and you're just like rushing wild for a while. He's like, yeah, you like fuck for hours on it, and you get real like at like, oh, it's like, are you sure it's not rabies? No. Where'd you get it from? Oh man, I went up to Kensington, and that's all they're taking up there. It's crazy. It's but I heard that's some dangerous shit though. Yeah, man. Yeah, I hear it's really highly addictive, and those are just the snippets. And someone's like, well, I got a little on me if you want them. Oh, man, we have to go to the bathroom and do that. Yeah.
I sort of try and keep them in sight.
Oh,
I don't want to get too close. I don't want to get too close too quickly, but I am trying to slowly creep close to them. Ideally, I'd like it to seem natural, like I bump into them on the way to the bathroom. Like,
okay.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, with those massive successes, you're definitely able to. You're just like, oh shit, sorry, and you see like a couple. You see kind of like two women, and they look at you, and one of them stops and goes, "You're really pretty," and like you could tell she's out of it.
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, you were going somewhere? Am I in your way?
Oh no, we're just going to the bathroom. Yeah, we gotta go to the bathroom.
Coincidence, me too. Let me get the door for you.
Okay, and you can see that one of them's thumbing with something in their pocket. And it's like, they kind of look at each other, and they look at you, and like one of them's pulling the other into the bathroom. But what if she wants to join us?
Is there you guys finding your own entertainment here? Or
Yeah, we got, and she lifts up the pocket, and you see this like kind of like it looks like a needle, and it's kind of filled with this red, thick, viscous liquid that kind of seems like blood almost.
what? I kind of like
And it
look around
smells
inside a
good.
little
You
closer,
can
like-
smell it. It doesn't
Where did
smell exactly like Vitae, but it smells pretty damn close.
Where did you get that?
Oh, I got a sample off a dealer over in Kensington.
Do you think you could like hook me up? Like,
Oh, we could hook you up, all right. I mean, it's kind of expensive, but I mean, you
these
want
things
some?
always are, right? Oh, I'm curious, but like I'm not sure. And you guys have only got a little bit. You please, like, you
Are
guys
you
go
a
ahead.
cop?
Am I? Do
You
I
know, if-
look like a fucking cop?
You know, if you're a
here?
cop, you legally have to tell us you're a cop when we ask you
Right? Exactly. They legally have to tell you I'm not a cop.
that. I don't know. I mean, if you want to get more, do you want some? If we can share. You're like really
Oh.
pretty.
Thanks. You what does it do exactly?
And you kind of hear the same thing like that you just heard like
Mhm.
through the conversation. It gets you really high, a huge rush.
Like that sounds so fucking good, but I have an interview tomorrow and they do those fucking tests and stuff, so I can't like be on anything tonight. But like maybe
Okay.
could I like maybe in a few nights could we meet back up? Is that
Yeah, we always come to this club. We
Oh, great.
love this yacht. It's amazing.
Isn't it? It's so
Yeah.
you guys carry on. I've been keeping you long enough. And,
Ringo
like,
is so cool.
uh-huh,
He's like
yeah.
the it thing here.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? I've been hearing about this other really cool bar called Bar Lilith or something like that. That apparently is great, but like doesn't compare to here,
What?
right?
That sounds fancy. I want to go there.
Nah, it's better here. You can nice bathrooms for you to do your stuff. You know what new clubs are like? Their restrictions are crazy mad until they, get good enough press and all that stuff. You don't want to go there for a while.
I once saw a dead body here.
You saw. Come on, he was passed out, right? Like they don't store bodies around here.
Well, he got dragged into a room, and then I never saw him come out, and it was great.
It was great.
Yeah, I've never.
You didn't like the guy, or?
I don't know. It's just cool, and like as they're doing it, you see they're like sharing the needle, and you see the needle kind of slowly inject into the arm, to one of the veins.
I am like sort of making small talk, but watching what's happening.
Oh, it gets intense. You can see like almost instantly their eyes kind of get bloodshot, and it's like they kind of lull into this like haze, and they're like swifting back and forth.
What have they done with the needle?
They've dropped it to their side.
I'm gonna pick it up.
You could see this thing almost like moves independently of itself.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up that needle, and then I want to go and find Amari.
You see a bunch of guards at a door to another kind of hallway, and you can only assume that's where Amari is. And as they go up, they tell you Mr. Oringo's work is not to be disturbed.
Oh, you wouldn't see guards. This would be a place that is hidden in the bottom of the boat. So, like, it's under a compartment.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be guarded. It wouldn't be anything to draw attention.
So would it be like the stairway down? Wouldn't it be even guarded? Like even like at the top, like to like the subsection? Yeah. Okay.
Nope. It just you'd look around and you just wouldn't find him.
Yeah, he's gone.
I'm gonna like go into so there's like the back corridor bit, like there's like the private area. I'm gonna go around there and just start loudly. I've been hearing about this real cool bar other side of town. Better than this one. Loads of people are leaving.
I hear that because I have observation in this room to keep an eye on things.
Yeah, you just are I feel like halfway through like Beethoven's Fifth, and you're like finishing sewing some certain things together, and you just you hear Evelyn yelling very loudly.
Guards, can you move Evelyn to my office? I'll be there shortly.
Mr. Ringo would like to speak to you.
I thought he would. Okay, where am I going?
And lead you to the it's the same office you were talking to Javier in a few episodes, right? So like the nice paintings on the wall, very macabre photos. There's probably like one out of place painting of like a flower that just like that doesn't belong here. Nice desk, mahogany.
And Amari comes to the office wearing something you've never seen him in. He's just wearing like a pair of sweatpants and a sweatshirt, like incredibly like comfy wear, because the rest of his clothes he didn't think to change them and got a little messy.
That is a look. You are working, not partying tonight, huh?
Yes.
What
is this about a club?
Yeah, you've got a problem. The club, maybe not so much. Someplace on the other side of town, super exclusive. I don't know. A bunch of people are talking about it. Thought you might care on account of the boat thing. Club Lilith or something. I don't fucking know. But anyway.
What's the name again?
Club Lilith? I think. But that wasn't really what I wanted to talk to you about. That was, and you just knew you'd pay attention to that. Is that a...
You don't know why. Do you know who Lilith is?
The kind
Could
of
just be a
name that
name.
most basic goth bitches change their name to by deed poll when they hit about 18.
We'll come back to that later.
Okay. The thing I
In the meantime, I send a message while we're talking to Addie about this.
okay.
Speaking of which, what is Addie doing? Okay, so you're still on the boat, so you could totally be in this room if you wanted to.
You'd have at least heard me shouting if you're on the boat.
I mean, if you, hey, I mean, with obfuscate, you could have just been in the room the whole time. You could just be like,
Why are you like this? Like, just pop out of nowhere in the middle of the sea. Just why? Why are you like this? You could just walk around like a normal person
You could have been
on the
upstairs
boat.
finding a drink with me. What have you been
You
doing?
look nice right now. I made it so.
You do look nice. He's right.
Whatever.
I don't know about that. You got some killer cheekbones. A little bit of a smile. You could. No. Okay. We're not impressed with that idea. We got a couple of problems. You had wait, how long have you been sat there? You heard all of that? Oh man, remind me not to talk to myself in my room. The second problem is this, and Evelyn like drops the vial onto the desk. You have some very interesting users in your guest list, masses of fans, whatever you refer to them as.
oh, it smells good. You want to drink that?
So I'm right that that's weird, right? Like,
That's my guess. Because mere magic doesn't really translate well to being imbibed by the mortals.
well, whoever's making this stuff isn't trying to be subtle about it. They're calling it Blood Plus upstairs.
I think
Apparently, there are a cult of thin bloods who claim to love Caine.
I think you get this like image in your head, like when you're like, who could do something like this, of just like a rudimentary sketch of Arthur, like shaking up a huge bottle of blood of this blood,
like a drink shaker,
yeah.
shaken, not stirred.
Stickman Arthur behind the bar of the yacht, shaking up Blood Plus for the masses. I at least for sure think that we probably need Arthur's opinion. I mean, I know some first aid, but I'm not super medically versed, and I failed science a bunch of times, so I'm not going to know what this is. I just know it's iffy. But the club you got the Wiggins about, you guys want to explain that one?
That seems, yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
I mean, we're 2 for 2 on the straightforward naming then, right? Like Blood Plus, Club Lilith.
She's supposed to be the mother of all vampires.
Oh.
Addie's
So
just
like
like dirty heretics.
Caine is
Indeed.
Caine is daddy and Lilith is mom. We come from a broken home or some shit. Like what? True. Oh, it's like a custody battle. Right. Why do we care about the Lilith thing? Just
She's a betrayer. And those who worship her should be put down.
Oh. And you're not just saying that because it's a rival club that might be doing better than yours. Okay.
Blood-encoded hatred.
So you think like you guys were talking about years and years ago that Sabbat tried to do its thing and it didn't go well and we all got scattered, whatever. You think like they've moved into the area because they think we're gone?
Or they're just opportunistic. They could essentially try to make a play right when we do.
What do they think of like the cam and the annex? And because like this is basically, you know, when you guys woke me up, when I pulled myself out of that hole in the ground, it was like, hey, here we are, we're friends, here's this one group of people, and now you're like in the one night you guys are telling me about 2 whole separate groups of people, and that really muddies the like political landscape, you know. And I know politics
Think of
is
it
simple,
like
but
human religion and how many different sects of politics and things of that nature, or like political parties. There's a couple of them that have real power, and then the rest are just offshoots who make trouble.
okay. Okay.
We have to go check out this club, essentially,
Oh,
and
okay.
not to party.
Okay.
Then,
I've never felt that bad about gardening, but I'm assuming there's a bigger reason for that. So, okay. Don't like gardening. False Mother. False Mother's a better name for a club, though, right? Like the False Mother would be a sick club name. Club Lilith is maybe that's more on the nose. I don't know. Okay. Right? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm. I have some friends from school that would anyway, not the point. We should have. Okay, so we've got the drug problem and the club problem. I interrupted Amari from his work. Look how lovely he looks in his sweats. It's like you guys have changed outfits, actually.
yes, I was working on something. We need a replacement role that should be done in privacy.
And I
don't think
presume
people take too kindly to
I
that. Yeah, your
presume you
people
probably
watching
want that
thing
thrall
is.
thing. Sorry, go on.
Oh no, I get distracted when Addie's being creepy.
Probably a good job she's invisible and she's being creepy then.
Yes, that's what makes it worse. Only thing that can make it worse than that is if she was a Nosferatu. Oh wait, you haven't seen a Nosferatu yet, have you?
Oh, that's the dude that exploded over your face, right? So you've been wearing a Nosferatu.
I can make them better. I believe Caine gave me this power to improve.
Speaking of which, I presume you want to carry on with work before we go and check literally anything else out, because you want to know the cavalry's ready, right? So if you want to make sure the cavalry's ready, and I want to make sure I actually own a fucking horse, I'm going to go upstairs and keep looking around to see if I can...
a horse? I think I could make one if you give me a couple of them. You pick a few. I can make a horse out of them.
Oh, no, I wasn't being literal. Oh, no, that seems way worse. Why would... Like, would it be all hands? Would it... Oh.
I could shape them into hooves.
That's very kind. I'm gonna... Okay, I'll leave the vial with you. I presume you probably want to take that and hide it somewhere from staff and all that. And my room is...
Oh, Addie can hide it here. Tosses it over to Addie.
And,
I will leave you guys to it and carry on.
Here's something else about this club, Lilith. Since you're going to be creeping around my boat anyway, let me know. You have my number.
I will be sure to find out exactly how tasteful the decor is so that you can better it in a bit.
And the night continues on. You party into the crack of dawn. Addie hides and silently creeps, watching over as the mortals party. They lavish, they celebrate, and they gorge themselves, not knowing the secret war that is taking place just beyond their comprehension. And Amari works and works, toils away in his symphony lab, his playroom.
She said she wanted to be a beauty queen, so I'm going to give her a crown.
And people ignore the screams, the buzzsaws, and everything else. But that's just a normal night here on this yacht. A normal night in Philadelphia. And even the news of the penitentiary will fade into obscurity soon enough, as the Fountain's murder occurs that night. Someone breaks into another store, and another fire is set at the crack of dawn. Who knows what awaits our kindred in Death's headquarters? Who knows what awaits the Canaanites? And so ends Chapter 6 of Cradle of Caine, a Sabbat V5 Chronicle. Very quickly, going in reverse order than you did in the beginning, tell everyone where they can find you.
Oh, that's me first. Hi, I'm Lily. You can find me at Lily the GM on Twitter and Twitch. Hopefully in some other places too soon. I'll let you know. I have been playing Evelyn this evening. Friendly baby, ignorant child that she is. The coteries problem. Pax problem. We don't use the C word here.
Hey everybody, I'm Prince, aka Doubles and Dice around the internet. As you can find me streaming, doing TTRPG things over on my channel on Twitch. Also, you can find me over on twitch.tv/RollingThese20s, where I'm the co-founder of an all BIPAC group of TTRPG players and the storyteller for Vampire the Masquerade, Philly by Night. And you can find me telling a story of Philly in the future over there as well. Look us up on YouTube, because I don't know when you'll see this, but yeah, it's great stuff going on over there. and plenty of other things going around. I've been on Carrion Comfort Studios doing a Camp Half Blood campaign, which is based in the Percy Jackson universe, which is absolutely hilarious and fun. I recently wrapped up Hades High over on Table Goth, and there's more to come coming into the new year. So keep a lookout on my Twitter. And that's all for me.
Hello, everyone. My name is Gabriel, or Good and Chaotic. I have been Arthur Harris this evening, your friendly local Tremere. And yeah, very, very excited to have been here. It's been a blast. You can usually find me over on Adventure Tavern. I'm not running anything at present, but we recently just wrapped up our Vessen game, which was a very, very good fun. So that show is over on the Adventure Tavern YouTube. Its name is Dark Tide Rising Waters, and it was Shenanigans Ahoy. You will see me probably various places coming up. There are a lot of exciting projects that I'm very, very keen to announce, but can't say anything about yet, and it's driving me insane. But if you would like to hear more about those shenanigans, they'll be available on my Twitter. Yeah, come hang out. I scream a lot, and just generally sort of a very excited little coked up raccoon of an individual.
Awesome. I guess that just leaves me. I was your storyteller tonight. Nick, you can find me at Nobleman Nick. Thank you again, Tarina, for allowing me to run this AP series here on your channel. I'm having a lot of fun, and especially on my debut as a storyteller for Vampire. Yeah, I'm usually over at Gehenna Gaming, where you can find me doing a bunch of other stuff. We're in development, and hopefully you'll be seeing more news by the time this episode airs of my new actual play series, Neon Exodus Evangelion. We recently released the cast as well as the opening and closing theme. Yep. But that's it on my end. Everyone, thank you again. You were all amazing. And yeah, we're riding to the end. Bye, everyone. And stay hungry.